Hey everybody, welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. It's Christmas time, and it just so happens I have some Christmas-themed comic books. Christmas with the Superheroes, first issue published in 1988, second in 1989, but we're going to leave that second issue to another year, because today we're just going to be talking about the first issue, since it is a pretty thick little comic book. It's essentially a collection of reprints of classic DC comics, obviously telling Christmas-themed stories. And far more Christmas-themed than, say, something like Die Hard. So I can remember buying this back in '88, and the comic shop I was buying it at, I can remember him being kind of amazed that I wanted it. He was a guy who was into Faust and stuff like that, so this was a little tame. But I was just at that point starting to become more aware of comic book history, and so I had a real interest in the older stories. So let's crack it open. We'll take a quick look at some of these stories, because they are from some of the real legends of comic books. So Christmas with the Superheroes, 1988. We're going to see Batman in Wanted Santa Claus, Dead or Alive, from DC Special Series number 21, 1979. Justice League in The Man Who Murdered Santa Claus, from Justice League number 110, that's March-April of 74. Teen Titans in The TT's Swingin' Christmas Carol, from Teen Titans number 13, January-February of 1968. It's the oldest story in the book. Legion of Superheroes in Starlight Starbright, from DC Special Series number 21, 1979. Superman in 'Twas the Fright Before Christmas, from DC Comics Presents number 67, March 1984. And Batman in The Silent Night of the Batman, from Batman number 219, February of 1970. And those first couple of titles, they make me think of the bit in Scrooged, the Lee Majors movie, The Night the Reindeer Died. Very provocative titles. So let's start off here. Batman Wanted Santa Claus, Dead or Alive. Written by Denny O'Neil, artists Frank Miller and Steve Mitchell, letterer Ben Oda, colorist Glenn Whitmore, editor Lynn Wein. Christmas Eve in Gotham. First a layer of pale snow had touched the city, and now sleet, the color of steel, slants across the streets from the north. Silent as a child's prayer, the Batman glides through the shadowed avenues, thinking, Christmas or no, crime goes on. Somebody even stole the star from that nativity scene. Well, I can't be concerned with that now. I've got a bigger problem. So, a very Batman opening. Denny O'Neil, one of the greats of the genre. And, some pre-Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller art, which you will see is fairly different from what you'll get later on. And so the story begins with Batman shaking down some hoods at a Christmas party, but hey, they got cocktail waitresses in skimpy Santa suits, so it's not a very holy Christmas party. And Batman shakes him down for information. One of the thugs decides he doesn't need to do anything Batman says until he just about breaks his knuckles on his abs. Abs of steel here, folks. And so Batman gets the information he wants. He wants to know about a boat that's waiting in Gotham Harbor. And as He says here, I'll ask you once again, just once, Matty, why the boat? I done it as a favor for an old cellmate of mine, Boomer Cats. And just like that, Man's gone, and Matty doesn't want to party anymore. Tourists seldom come here, to Gotham's decaying Lower East Side, the area known as Crime Alley. Yet even in this grim neighborhood, there can be laughter and song. And so we have probably a homeless shelter. They're singing, God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. And so there's, just folks having a little Christmas party there. We got a guy here talking to some other guy. Hey, whatever happened to old Boomer anyways? You ain't heard? He got a job as a Santa Claus at Lee's. Yeah, well, I got places to be. Missy, you take this and use it as you see fit. Hands her an envelope. $1,000? And it turns out that old fella there was the Batman in disguise. I like, though, that the idea he's got like the full costume on underneath everything. So Batman gets this information. He's looking for this Boomer Cats. He's working as a Santa Claus at the mall. And so it looks like Boomer maybe is turning over a new leaf. Perhaps. And the department store, maybe owner, manager. You're the best Santa we've ever had, Boomer. Why, thanks, Mr. Jackson. Thanks a lot. So maybe he's got a little tear in his eye. Maybe Boomer's okay. Moments later outside. Did you do it, Boomer? Did you disarm the store's alarm system? Uh-oh. Apparently, Telly Savalas' stunt double is up to no good there. I couldn't, Fats. Why not, chump? I don't know. Everybody was so nice, and the kids made me feel so good and all. I just can't go back to being what I was. Then we do it the hard way. Al, Louie, you come with us. Shortly. Push the night bell, Boomer, and smile. Forget something, Boomer? Yeah, he forgot something, all right. He forgot to grab the day's receipts. But don't worry, chump. We'll take care of it for him. Well, that's nice of him. I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. They forced me. And so they forced their way in the department store. This, what you had going on in the 70s with Denny O'Neil was making Batman a crime comic again. And you would get a lot of these kind of stories that were, kind of self-contained. They weren't part of bigger arcs. He wasn't fighting the Joker or anybody crazy. He was going back up against gangsters, which you got a lot of that in the Golden Age, really. That's a pretty old concept for these. So they're going to kill this store. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, so they're gonna ice Boomer there, and looks like they do. Blam, blam, blam. Great art. Well done. Or maybe they don't quite get him because they're going to chase him outside. So it looks like, it kind of looks like they hit him at least once in the shoulder. And so here's Batman outside. He's arrived with those shots I heard. It's hard to be sure with the wind howling. I've got to assume they were. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. So in he goes, the Batman. And unless my mental mug file is faulty, you're Fats Morgan. Night, Fats. Batman. The other one. That's the manager. It is something wonderful to see. With an absolutely fluid grace, the Batman continues his circular motion. Throws, looks like he's throwing all those little Christmas trees, and decks the guy. Where's Boomer Cats? He ran out the back. They said something about a double cross, and they're going to murder him. They are indeed. Not a peep, Boomer. You keep your mouth shut, and you'll live a while longer. At least till those cops leave. So here's cops. There's that nativity display we saw earlier where the star has been stolen. A couple police officers underneath it. Batman gets outside. No sign of them. And they're asking the police officers, everything under control? Yeah, it is. They move on. Now, what are you staring at, Batman? The star. The missing star. It's back. And its rays are pointing here. And that's how he finds the thug. And saves Boomer. Yeah, fine. Only that star. It's gone again. Gone home, Boomer. So, the Christmas star saves the day. To give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. Luke 1:78. That's a really nicely told, tight story, crime story, nice ending with the star, and gorgeous art. It's I'm not a real big fan of Frank Miller's later stuff. I like when people kind of grow and expand and all that, but I don't know. It kind of leaves me cold, to be honest. Which brings up our next story. This most special adventure of the Justice League of America begins not as a call to danger, but as an errand of mercy, as the world's finest duo, Superman and Batman, rendezvous to, but we'll let you find out for yourself. You're right on time, to the second. I wouldn't have missed this for anything. You ready yet, Santa? Those orphans won't wait all evening, you know. Be with you in a moment, Superman. I want this outfit to look exactly right. Wahroom! An explosion. What happened? My head feels like somebody's been dribbling it. And Santa, what about Santa? He was in that room. An explosion from the bedroom. My invulnerable body shields you from most of its effects. Oh, dear Lord, no. Sorry, but there's nothing we can do for him. Santa Simpson is dead. And if I didn't know better, I'd swear the key to his killer is in his hand. A key indeed, Batman, but no ordinary key, as your examination will show. No, this is not a challenge, an invitation that will soon... Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is a challenge. An invitation that will soon lead Earth's greatest heroes along a twisting, terror-fraught trail in pursuit of the man who murdered Santa Claus. It's like a Quinn Martin production. And we get this note, which is kind of it's in rhyme and it's taunting them. To the Justice League of America, a Christmas gift to you from me, a very extra special key. Beneath the arch it fits a lock, that once it's turned will save a block of city folk, both mayor and bum, from being blown to kingdom come. So waste no time, don't hesitate. You have till 12 to find the gate. This key will fit, though I admit, I think you'll be too late. Signed, an admirer. A startling season's greeting card from Lynn Wein, writer. Dick Dillon and Dick Giordano, artists. Glenn Whitmore, colorist. Julia Schwartz, editor. With special thanks to Green Lantern fan Duffy Voland. So they start assembling the team here. Barry Allen spending the holidays with his wife, Iris, and her parents 1,000 years in the future, so he is not going to be called. Ray Palmer, who totally involved in the exploration of a submicroscopic universe, has lost track of the Yuletide season on his own world, so he ain't coming. Ralph, elongated man Dibney, scuba diving with his wife Sue off the Caribbean coast, well out of reach of his JLA receiver, seemingly has not forgotten the season at all. He's giving her a pearl. But he's not showing up, so who are they going to get? Oh, well, no, not Aquaman. He's king of Atlantis, and he's presiding over that undersea city's sacred festival of lights. Yet others who receive the emergency summons are not so distantly preoccupied. John Red Tornado Smith, enjoying a casual stroll through snow-draped Central Park with his lady friend, Kathy Sutton. Forgive me, Kathy, but I've just remembered an emergency that must be dealt with immediately. Oliver Green Arrow Queen and his lady friend, Dinah Black Canary Lance, interrupted in the midst of a more personal celebration. Okay, they probably didn't make it sound that dirty, but of all the lousy times for the JLA to call. And then we get to Hal Jordan. And Hal Jordan gets the call, slips in the tub, knocks himself out. And so we go to a certain urban ghetto, and where Jon Stewart is talking architecture with a couple folks, and all of a sudden, blonk, the ring is on his finger, and he's Green Lantern. Jon Stewart, alternate Green Lantern of Space Sector 2814, you are needed. Wait a minute, what if I don't want to go? And so, as they're assembling, they're all kind of surprised by the arrival of the Green Lantern. We see Batman. Might as well get started. Looks like we're the only members who are going to show for this meeting. Close, brother, but no cigar. You'd better add Green Lantern to the roster of those present. Who? You? You may be wearing the uniform, friend, but you're not Green Lantern. Tell us how you got in here, or easy, brother. Just keep cool a second. This little ring will show you anything you want to know. Hal Jordan told me about this dude, Soups. Let him talk. And so the Power Ring explains what happened. Here we see Red Tornado in his earlier costume, and he's cheesing off Green Arrow because he doesn't understand Christmas at that point. And so they get down to business finally. What is the problem? Oh, I'm sorry. And what problem is that, Batman? The problem of this key, Green Lantern. Unless we find the lock it fits before the stroke of midnight, an entire block of innocent people will be blown to pieces on our behalf. Heavy. You have any idea where to start looking? As a matter of fact, Green Lantern, I have. And you would too, dear reader, if you'd read the tag attached to that key most carefully. The clues are all there. All you have to do is find them. And of course, they're going to go to the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. And so they're up on top of the arch. They have the key. Let's see. Logically, we try this key in every lock in the city, except that it would take us years to finish the job. Now, if the Flash were here, unfortunately, Flash is absent, Superman, but I am here. And if our stand-in Green Lantern will utilize his power ring to make this key Geiger counter-sensitive to the lock it fits, which doesn't necessarily make sense, I will endeavor to serve as Flash's substitute. Forgive me, Tornado. You're right, of course. Please, go ahead. You know, this is where sometimes the Justice League runs into problems. Because Superman is pretty close to as fast as the Flash. I mean, he's pretty darn fast. So he probably could do it himself. It's always been an issue with having Superman in the Justice League, since he can kind of do everybody's job for him. Unless you turn the danger level up unbelievably. So they go about this concept of him doing this. And but as Red Tornado swirls down the rutted, rubble-strewn street in this crumbling building before me, I found the lock it fits. Of course, before I said that, I said the key, pulsating, throbbing like an overactive heart. Okay, sometimes you go top to bottom, sometimes you go right to left. It's all the beauty of comic books. So everybody assembles, and then as they're going, season's greeting, mister. Can you spare a quarter? How about you, brother? Spare some change? Huh? Yeah, how about you, Mr. Green Lantern? You black too. Can you help a brother make it through Christmas? I really wish I could, little fella, but they don't put pockets in these outfits. Look, why don't I just use the power ring to whip up some... Stuart, I don't think the Guardians allow that. If you really want to help these kids, you'll wish them a Merry Christmas and head into the old house with the rest of us. Which is true, because if the entire block explodes, they're not gonna need any pocket change for Christmas. Because if we don't find that bomb before midnight, those kids and everybody else still living in this sump hole won't be around to see Christmas. Sorry, little brothers, but the man's right. Maybe I can give you something later. With an almost silent click, the key turns in the lock, and cautiously, 6 colorfully garbed figures enter the crumbling tenement, their progress observed by 2 darkling eyes that peer coldly, emotionlessly, through the gloom of a hidden control room. So in they go, and this dude, whoops, there I am knocking my camera all over the place. Whoop. Well, that's not too far off. So now they got to find this bomb, but a trapdoor opens up beneath them. They find themselves in this little spot. And it says, looks like someone's trying to drop coals on our Christmas stocking. Hot coals! More than mere coal, Archer. That thing descending toward us is a miniature sun. A sun with a yellow core, I bet, because the power ring has no effect on it. And they explain why. They always did that in the old comics. They didn't assume that people reading this had read Green Lantern before. He says, maybe a yellow core, but its primary radiation is that of a red sun, which saps my superpowers. Got to try to destroy it before it's too late. You're out of your mind, Soups. Without your superpowers, that thing has you outmatched all the way. I at least have a chance. If any one of you others attempted it, it would be suicide. Suicide, my ear. We can't let you. Shut up, Archer, and listen to me. Whether you like it or not, I'm trying it, and I'm going to need your help. And moments later, a pain-racked man of steel races into action. With every step, he takes searing agony, every motion racking torment. But still he continues, for he is Superman, and he will never admit defeat. It's kind of funny, isn't it, how both Green Arrow and Hawkeye ultimately are kind of jerks, you know? I mean, lovable jerks mostly, but... So apparently he blows up that sun, but they believe it's blown Superman to atoms. And so they go on, and this is going to be one of those deals where they're getting sort of separated and, by these different traps. And the traps are apparently going to kill them. There's Black Canary's turn, which obviously Ollie is pretty PO'd about. And now we're going to see who our bad guy is. We're getting an idea of him, aren't we? I think isn't he just called the Key? Yeah, he's the Key. With his weird headgear. And that, I love old supervillains. It didn't have to make sense, or, I don't know, all be psychopaths. And so again, we're going through a series of traps that are seemingly killing the heroes one by one. And it looks like at the end we have Green Lantern and Red Tornado. It takes only an instant for the two startled heroes to tumble through the unexpected opening. Then, it's sliding shut after us again, cutting us off from the march of those weirdo soldiers. But why? They had us. I don't understand. Nor do I, Green Lantern. But perhaps the answers await us at this darkened tunnel's end, while in a now familiar elsewhere. There, sir. If you will observe, you will see. The remaining members of the Justice League have been destroyed. Splendid, Keyman number 1. Excellent. I swore I'd have my revenge on those witless fools. Swore I'd outlive them all. Well, most of them anyway. And I have, by thunder. I have. And so this arrogant dude is telling the story, I think, of his past. And the Justice League of America was responsible for the only defeats I'd known in my life. How could I leave them alive to witness my final defeat? My death. The murder of that dime store Santa Claus, the key clue that led the Justice League into my specially prepared death maze. All the result of months of planning and preparation, all part of my unique Christmas gift to myself. Treat yourself. My last gift, the destruction of Forget It, Brother. The tag on that gift should say you can't open it till Christmas, and it's still a few minutes before midnight. Who? No, it can't be you. It's impossible. A most illogical statement, villain, since we are obviously here. But you're not here. I'm dreaming this. I must be. Then you must be dreaming us as well, Key. Superman, Black Canary, I'm losing my mind. Put that last comment on the past tense, Needle Nose, and I'd probably agree with you. Green Arrow, Batman. Then I'm not hallucinating. You're all alive. How? Now, if there's any problem with the whole DC Comics, it's the tendency for these sort of Deus Ex Machina solutions to problems. But the reason here is the Phantom Stranger, who's quite powerful. And essentially, he has saved everybody at the last second and hidden them away so that they're not, killed. And they show how he's done it through here. And so the Key is getting away. There's nothing we can do to stop him. I would think you'd have other matters foremost in your mind now, Black Canary, for the Doom Bomb's irrevocable countdown has begun. And above you there are many people who will perish unless... Say no more, stranger, we're on our way. So they ignore the fact that the Key is escaping, although it sounds like he's not long for the world. And they start moving everybody out, evacuating the area. And so in the end, Green Lantern has to save everybody else from the shockwave. So it creates this energy bubble over the area. And when the smoke of the eruption is cleared, those buildings should have been destroyed by the explosion. But looking at them now, I'd swear they'd just been built. They were, Archer. It's against the Green Lantern's code to use the power ring to give these folks new housing. So I just used it to reconstruct the old buildings the instant they were destroyed, minus the roaches, rats, collapsing ceilings, and such. Those old tenements are now as clean and solid as the day they were built. I promised these kids a Christmas present, and they got it. Fantastic. Who says they don't make things like they used to? I really got to hand it to you, Green Lantern. Green Lantern? You know, that's the first time you've called me that since we met. Yeah, well, maybe you finally earned it, hero. I hate to intrude on such a vital revelation, gentlemen, but I thought you'd like to know. In the heat of the past few minutes' confusion, nobody noticed, but the Phantom Stranger is gone. Again, without saying if he'll accept our offer to join the JLA. Guess he just stopped by to give us a little Christmas present of his own. So, our epilogue is where the heroes give the Red Tornado his new costume, which is a vast improvement and so friggin' cool 70s that I don't know what to do. That's why I ordered the new Mego doll version of it. Action figures, sorry. I'm man enough that I can call them dolls. And so he still doesn't understand why they gave it to him. They explain the whole point of giving. And they even get a Merry Christmas out of the Green Arrow. Okay, next up, we got the Teen Titans. This is kind of a cool one. So the Teen Titans at the time was the sort of comic pros trying to be cool for the teeny boppers of the day. So it's a little bit, Bob Hope in a hippie wig. They're going to tell a groovy Christmas Carol story. It's going to swing, baby. It's going to swing. What I actually liked about this one, and I'm not going to go through it deeply, but the art by Nick Cardy is very reminiscent to me. And especially, it's hard for me to show it more up close. I can sort of try, but to me, it's got a little bit of a Mad Magazine feel to it. So a little different than what you're used to in comic books. And so it's kind of this, it's a tale of a guy called Ebenezer Scrouge who has a junkyard. And of course, this is before we're in the new Teen Titans phase. But I really do like the art. And these are some current day ads for Superman. Chapter 2 of the story, Kid Flash spinning through. Some really great art here. Cardi did a fantastic job. I'm going to assume, obviously, that's going to be our Tiny Tim for this story. Apparently his dad is Carl Kolchak. That's funny. Oh, his name is Tommy. That makes sense. Tiny Tim, Tiny Tom. Yeah, that's funny. That dude does look a lot like the old man from Christmas Story. And so he's visited by these spirits that show him how awful he's been and how he's gone wrong. Oh, the greatest Joker stories ever told. I gotta be honest with you. I'm pretty sick and tired of the Joker. I think they beat that horse until it's good and dead. And then it's revealed that, in fact, the spirits are actually the Teen Titans. They've been fooling them all along. And so, trying to follow this quickly, because obviously this has been a long video and we've still got a couple stories left. I really love this art. That's the main thing that hit me when I was looking through. So let's finish it up. So now, here's our Teen Titans Christmas card in Fab 4-color Titan Scope. Send it to a friend. He might be an Ebenezer Scrouge too. So, yeah, it's that attempt to be hip. But obviously, the bad guys are defeated. Scrouge is sorry and has turned over a new leaf. And he gets a nice new electric wheelchair for Tommy. So God bless him. And then we got this little hobby hints. I kind of remember this. I'd forgotten about this. The idea is to avoid hitting your thumb with a hammer when you're nailing. You use an old pocket comb to hold the nail. So if you smash anything, you smash the comb. That's actually pretty useful. Legion of Superheroes, Starlight, Starbright, Farthest Star I See Tonight. This is by Paul Levitz, writer, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Dick Giordano, artists. Garcia Lopez, I'm astounded at his art every time I see it. The figure work, the face work, the composition, how he sets things up. Dude, unbelievable. His name does not come up often enough when people start going in for great comic book artists. It really doesn't. Lynn Wein is the editor. God, he's almost involved with every story in this. So Superboy goes to the future to visit his pals in the Legion. And as typically, they got a futuristic Christmas tree. He's seeing, let's see, one way Christmas is celebrated in the 30th century. Karate Kid invited Princess Projectra and Sunboy to his home in Japan for the holidays. His Christmas includes a form of the ancient tea ritual to be shared only by close friends. So they're looking at different worlds. Yeah, I'm drinking a Diet Coke. Come on, Coke is Christmassy, right? Got to wet the old whistle every once in a while. So he's kind of thinking, well, okay, all these futuristic Christmases are fine, but what about an old-fashioned one? I'd trade all your star-spanning futuristic technology for a little tinsel right now. Aren't you overreact? Wait a minute. I just got an idea to make all that technology pay off. Have you guys ever gone looking for the star that blazed over Bethlehem that Christmas? No, but I think we're about to. Yeah, you're about to? Come on, man. Superboy here. So they go off. They're going to go off and find the Christmas star. And they figure out the coordinates. But there's no star there. No sign of one ever having been there either. That's impossible. Agreed. But all that's in my scope is a lonely little planet, not a star. I suppose it's academic to ask if anyone wants to take a look around. Yeah, I thought so. So off they go flying. According to the shipboard readings, this planet can really use our help. But sheesh, it sure is a weird way to spend Christmas Eve. Then again, maybe these scaly dudes have the market cornered on weird. The computer said they lived on plankton like weed that grows on the sea's surface, except that the ever-increasing cold has frozen the food into icebergs, and these yokels are trying to dig it out with their bare flippers. I think the grasp on science is a little bit weak in the comic. I mean, this, if we're talking just in material terms, the star that was seen was possibly a supernova, which means, yeah, it would more or less be gone, and, there wouldn't be much of a star left, but I don't think there'd be nothing there at all. That planet, though, I mean, what's it orbiting around? And it should just be an ice ball at this point. There shouldn't really be anybody on it. And I like that he's making fun of these guys. It's like, yeah, man, they really suck at gathering food. But he helps them out with his energy powers and gives them a little feast. But he says, well, it won't do much good, though, if we don't save this planet. And so here's the planet's dominant race of land dwellers trying desperately to keep warm. Yes, but look, Lightning Lad, what they're burning to do that is their own crops. That's crazy. They'll last out the night, but starve in the morning. I mean, it sounds like this star just disappeared, the day before. So, she's going to save them from the fire that they've started. And in the high forest, a few miles in from the shore, he's helping some bird people. Superboy is. And so, what else can we do, Superboy? We've compared notes. These races are all in hopeless situations. Even evacuation arcs couldn't get here soon enough. These aliens won't make it. Not alone, Phantom Girl, no. Come on, I want to try something. Pass me the telepathic earplugs that we use to communicate in outer space. And so what's he doing? A few minutes later, near one of the hills along the coastline, wow, the cave looks like it's almost carved already. So it looks like Superboy's creating this sanctuary for the different peoples. And so together, they can all survive, working together. So it's, a nice little story about working together. Again, it's a little illiterate in terms of actual science, but that's okay. Man, the art is just unbelievable. I think Garcia Lopez is my favorite comic book artist ever. I often change my mind, though, as you see somebody else and I think that's the best. And his stuff just astounds me. So, 'Twas the Fright Before Christmas. Lynn Wein, once again, and E. Nelson Bridwell, scripting, plotting. Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson, illustrators. Ben Oda, letterer. Jerry Serp, colorist. Julius Schwartz, editor. Well, Superman and Santa Claus. What are we going to do with these two in a Christmas story? Who do you think the bad guy might be? Well, this kid basically tries to hold up a Santa Claus who's gathering, money on the street corner. Hits him in the nose with this suction cup. And Santa's like, dude, that wasn't funny, kid. Your little toy might seem harmless, but you could take out somebody's eye with one of these things. Actually, this so-called toy isn't harmless at all, Santa. My X-ray vision spotted some sort of secret mechanism inside, which has been projecting a concentrated beam of low-grade radiation at its user. And the kid just keeps repeating the same thing over. Just hand over all your money. And so essentially it's hypnotized this kid who Superman wraps up to take somewhere else. And Santa Claus says, that does it. Next year I join the Salvation Army. And so he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and he kind of gets to the bottom of it, gets him unhypnotized, and says, well, where did you get this thing? Well, it was hidden in the hall closet with all my other presents. My folks still like to pretend Santa Claus delivers them on Christmas Eve, but I'm too old to believe in Santa, so I snuck in to check him out early. I remember a blinding flash when I tried out the dart gun, and then I don't remember nothing till I woke up here. What happened to me? You done been hypnotized, kid. So the kid was hypnotized, which means, obviously, this is a job for Superman. Hey, the kid got to go to the Fortress of Solitude, though. And so, as they're flying, the kid has this other toy, and this one beams Superman. And so he crashes. And the kid isn't hurt, but of course you're going, well, the kid is now stuck in, the Arctic. And that ain't good. But thankfully, Superman lives near the North Pole. And so, some little dudes show up from Santa Claus to help. In the meantime, in Metropolis, in the rear of Big Shot Toy Store, oh, fiddlesticks, I knew I should have gotten cable TV. All I'm getting on this dratted screen is snow, don't you see? Still, my monitor did last long enough for me to see good old Superman plummet to an icy death. So I suppose I shouldn't complain. So we're dealing with the Toy Man here. One of his incarnations. I gotta be honest, I didn't really love the super creepy one from the cartoon they did back in the 90s. And of course there's that other jester looking dude. But so anyways, the terrible Toy Man believes he's killed Superman, but he's not sure. But he's got other things in mind for dealing with him. And when Superman wakes up, he realizes he's having a fever dream. Where am I? Who are you guys? Isn't it neat, Superman? They found us in the storm and brought us here. But just where is here? Here, friend Superman, is my top secret workshop at the very heart of the North Pole. Workshop, North Pole? But that's impossible. You couldn't possibly be. See, I told you he'd never believe us, Santa Claus. Or believe us, boss. My name is Kringle, friend Superman. Kris Kringle. but most folks prefer to call me Santa Claus. Ho, 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 ho. So, yes, Santa Claus has saved Superman. And, of course, Santa Claus says, oh, yeah, let me show you our communication center so I can show you how we keep track of everything. And this is the more technological version of Santa Claus. Here they got welding, remote control cars and such. And he misses the simple toys, but, hey, you got to keep up with the times. And what does he say? The toys of our childhood are always the most precious to us. I wouldn't know anything about that, obviously. Yeah, I'm too old for toys. And so he gets a tour of Santa's castle and all that, and goes to help out, which is interesting. Oh yeah, so he's kind of dizzy still. He doesn't have his powers back, so he's got to ride in the sleigh. And they go to the Toy Man, because obviously Santa knows where he is, which suggests, Santa Claus could be helping the, fight against crime here for some years, but hasn't. Soups crashes through the wall, where he's attacked by some robots, a whole bunch of them. Hey, that one right there. Yeah, look at that little, and he's got a little glowing, wonder who that's inspired by. I'm telling you what, Star Wars, when it hit everywhere. And so, Superman's not to full power yet. So Santa Claus comes in with his own army of good toys. And the good toys plow in and help Superman win the fight against the Toy Man. And he has to take on one last... Oh, let's look at Santa. A few marbles. Toy Man goes down, hits his own robot, and its momentum carries it straight to the center of the Earth. Of course, on the way down, the molten mantle, erupts and destroys the entire... Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I took that a little too far. I guess he didn't. But they clean up the Toy Man and his evil shenanigans, and that's that. So, yeah, we actually get a team-up between Superman and Santa Claus. And, of course, Santa's been busy, so Superman helps to deliver a bunch of presents. And oh, no, that toy hits him again. And he wakes up. Superman, are you okay? Boy, you really had me scared there for a while. Sorry, Tim, that toy starship really packed quite a wallop. Was I out long? All I can remember is the wild dream I was having. There were reindeer and elves, and, believe it or not, there was Santa Claus. Of course I believe in Santa Claus, Superman, don't you? Frankly, son, at this moment in time, I'm not entirely sure just what I believe. So, was it a dream, or did it really happen? We may never know. Our final story in this volume is The Silent Night of Batman. Night falls on Christmas Eve in Gotham. The sidewalks bustle with last-minute shoppers. A peaceful, almost heavenly scene. Would injustice and tragedy dare creep in? There is too much contrary experience to believe otherwise for the Batman. Then, as the eerie bat signal shimmers against a snow-filled cloud, the atmosphere takes on a celestial composition. For 2,000 years, mystics have experienced the many mysteries surrounding Christmas. Tonight, there will be one more. So Batman swings in. What's the emergency tonight, Commissioner? No emergency, Batman. Quite the opposite, in fact. I called you in because Christmas Eve is not a night for you to be out patrolling. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Like the saying goes, you know it, and I know it. Now tell them. Crime and disaster aren't inclined to observe holidays. Geez, lighten up, Batman. Tonight is going to be different. I know it. He sounds almost inspired, but nothing ever happens just by saying it. Come on, Batman. How about contributing your deep vocal cords to some Christmas carols? Hey, that tells us Batman has a deep voice, huh? Why not? I can enjoy myself until something happens. I like this older version of Batman who, okay, he's serious and he's driven, but he's still a human being. You know, he's not tormented and tortured all the time. he has the ability to, to lighten up once in a while. And so he starts singing Jingle Bells, Dashing Through the Snow. And meanwhile, out on the streets, a boy steals this package from this lady. And he runs back to his buddies, and they open it. And oh my goodness, it's a Batman action figure. Maybe Amigo? Probably at that point in time. And, well, man, they feel bad, so they actually wrap it up and bring it back. And meanwhile, we three kings of Orient are bearing gifts we travel. Oh, wait, I might be getting that song wrong. Sorry. Meanwhile, this dude got his gun, and he sees somebody, and he picks up his hat. He's got his gun, and Batman, support Wayne Foundation Christmas Drive for the Blind. Whew. And he decides to throw his gun away. Oh, another crime is prevented. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. So as he continues to sing, this girl gets a letter to my wife Patty from your loving husband Ted. It's Christmas and she's without him. He's obviously, at this point in time this is written, he'd be fighting in Vietnam. And she's very depressed. She buys some flowers and she goes to this bridge and tosses the flower over. And then out of the back of this army truck, oh my goodness sakes, it's her husband. And they're reunited. It's a Christmas miracle. And Batman, that is great. Inside the little, that Batman look. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. And so Batman suddenly realized, good heavens, it's 6 o'clock. We've been singing here all night. We haven't been disturbed by one report of robbery, murder, drug peddling, anything. It's like the spirit of Christmas peace took hold of everyone. But what is the Christmas spirit, Batman? Might it not be you or I? What? Commissioner Gordon disappears. My eye's playing tricks. Oh, amazing. We've been waiting here all night and not a single call has come in for you. It appears the investment you put into the city is paid off tonight, giving you a night off. Investment? Spirit of Batman? Christmas spirit? As the spirit of the peaceful night becomes one with the city, dawn creeps and covers the skyline, and a new day begins. For 2,000 years, mystics have experienced the many mysteries surrounding Christmas. Today there is one more, the silent night of the Batman. In this holiday season of goodwill, peace from Mike Friedrich, writer, Neil Adams, and Dick Giordano, artists, Jerry Serp, colorist, Julie Schwartz, editor. And there we go. And we get a bunch of signatures from folks at DC Comics, and a little thing from Mark Waid, who put the entire thing together. And that is Christmas with the Superheroes from 1988. Yeah, dude, some really some pretty good stories. Some a little goofy. It's DC Comics. It was a little goofy. Well, let's see. Marvel was goofy too, but Marvel sort of was so boisterous it almost didn't matter that they were also goofy. But a nice collection. I'm really glad I bought this back in the day. And we got this John Byrne cover. Superman trying to look inside the package, but it's lead. Batman. Oh, come on. Batman knows what's in there. He's just faking it. He's the world's greatest detective. Robin can't quite figure out what this thing shaped like a batarang is. We got Wonder Girl. We got, what could that be? Probably a stick to beat him with, because he's kind of a pain in the ass. Anyways, Christmas of the Superheroes. A little Christmas spirit from DC Comics from back in the day. Hey, I hope everybody enjoyed this little look at this Christmas comic book from the good old days. If you have, please consider giving the video a like, maybe subscribing to the channel, and maybe sharing with a friend. If you have any memories of these great stories, of these books, memories of some of the great creators that were in this book, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to chat about it. In the meantime, God bless everybody, especially in this this Christmas season. Please be kind to one another and try to have some fun. And I will see you next time in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Merry Christmas, everybody.